Now we're going to look a little more closely at the language in the poem. If we start by looking at the title, a naturalist is someone who has a real appreciation and enjoyment of the natural world. And immediately the reader has a sense of foreboding, as we know that this enjoyment gets destroyed through the death of the naturalist. Heaney uses sensory imagery from the very beginning of this poem, as we are told about the smell of the flax dam as it festered under the punishing sun. We are also told about the sounds of the bubbles in the water as it gargled delicately, and how the bluebottles wove a strong gauze of sound. There is close attention to detail of all that is surrounding the flax dam, even going so far as noticing the spotted butterflies. Then the focus turns on the frog spawn, which is the reason why our narrator goes to the dam each year. Heaney uses the onomatopoeic description of the slobber and the simile, like clotted water, with hints of connotations of blood to describe the spawn. We're then told of the nostalgic memories of the narrator through the use of childlike language when he would fill jam potfuls. Furthermore, the use of the teacher's language emphasises the innocence of the narrator, as she would tell them about the daddy frog who croaked and the mammy frog, with the noun mammy reinforcing the Irish dialect, who laid hundreds of little eggs. The omission of the sexual imagery demonstrates the naivety of the naturalist. We then get a shift in the second stanza, with the tone changing when this innocence is lost. There is a sense of the sinister, as the frogs are described as being angry, and we have military language being used when we are told that the animals invaded the flax dam, with the verb invaded suggesting a sense of conflict. The frogs are also described as gross-bellied, whose loose necks pulsed like sails, and this grotesque imagery contrasts the idealistic idea of these animals who were once nimble swimming tadpoles. The use of the onomatopoeia adds to the violence as the narrator feels that the slap and the plop of the sounds coming from the frogs were obscene threats. The frogs are described as being sat poised like mud grenades, again, this simile drawing on the military language to show the threatening nature of these animals. The childhood pleasure is destroyed in a short sentence. I sickened, turned, and ran. The innocent has been killed by knowledge, and there is a sense of guilt as the narrator realises he has been taken from nature and the frogs wait for their vengeance. He fears putting his hand into the dam for fear that the spawn would clutch it. This poem ends with the realisation that the naturalist has been stealing from the natural world, and now the frogs will get their revenge.